upside down?
I'm absolutely 100% upside down.
Okay. When do we get to do that?
The traffic at your 1 o'clock, about 6.
So, I have a special guest today on the show. Nicole. She has the distinct, whatever you call it, honor, privilege, whatever. Or I have the honor of having her as my first, essentially, passenger in this thing. Kind of a nervous flyer. She didn't tell me that until a little bit, like right before we took off. How you doing?
I'm very nervous, very sweaty, very nervous.
It's super smooth right now.
It is. The little bumps earlier, I felt my whole soul exit my body.
4791 Juliet, fly heading 040.
We had a couple little bumps. We were kind of behind the plane. We didn't get the cameras on or anything like that.
Traffic at your 2 o'clock on a
so
direction.
we missed that. We missed her very first initial reaction, which would have been kind of cool to watch. But, all right, so there's.
791 Juliet, traffic off
you kind of see that little ceiling back there. We're probably going to have to drop down and go below it.
Look for traffic.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But which is fine because I know it's nicer on the other side of it.
3000 descending 2000.
And we're essentially going to follow the Hood Canal down here. That is Bangor sub base, right?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we're just going right around it. You can go right over it at 2,500 feet, but I want to start dropping down here in a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going down to, I don't know what it is, Centralia or Chehalis. Actually, it's named after both of those towns. And we're going to meet our other buddy, Ron.
Yes, so excited to see you.
Like, how long has it been since the three of us have done shenanigans other than like
88555 level 4000
in Australia?
I mean, yeah, other than the races, I think Australia was the last time.
So there's a little prohibited area, so it pops up on the map too.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of weather coming down here. There was a little bit of rain showers, a little bit of snow over against the Olympics. This is my first time taking this thing like out and around.
Delta X-ray contact Seattle approach on 120.1.
20.1, CF. 20.1. Seattle approach, Legacy 16 Delta X-ray 2000. I'm going to start a descent for weather en route to Centralia.
16 Delta X-ray, depending on how much lower you're going to descend, I'm probably going to lose radar and radio with you.
Yeah, maybe only 1,500 feet or something.
We'll give it a try.
Okay.
They give it a try. It's not my favorite thing I've ever heard.
Well, so where you get so far down low, this is all just radar. All this stuff with all the traffic, that is actually GPS based, but they don't control you off of that. So he can't see us on radar because we essentially drop below those hills. Yeah, I might get a little bumpy there. Actually, there's no reason for me to be this low. All this like just being able to fly around and do whatever I want is new to me. I'm always under an IFR where they tell you what altitude, where to go. Like, so all this just VFR flying, like, hey, I'm going to go down to Centralia is completely new to me.
Yeah, that is really nice.
And it's a whole different set of rules. And honestly, to me, like flying low, just cruising around low under weather is totally new to me too.
Oh, really?
Because we'd like,
1178, clear direct Harrison.
Like in the airline or the military, whatever, you just flew through the clouds. I can't legally fly through the clouds right now.
Oh,
we have to avoid the clouds.
Yeah.
So.
Not complaining.
Huh?
Totally fine with that.
It might get bumpy on you here because we're going to have to dump down. Really?
Really, really. Fine. Oh my God, that's so scary.
What? I don't understand what's scary about it. What town? Where is this? I'm going to distract you.
Oh God, I'm telling myself this is a simulator. And that this is all fake. This is a simulator.
This is cool. It's like such cool like scenery. What's the highway over here? 101, right?
Yeah, this probably is 101 here.
One of the wine.
Oh yeah, this is. Oh, we're coming up on Hama Hama, the oyster place.
Yeah, we're gonna lose radar with that guy.
Oh yeah, this is all Hama Hama right here. There's like really good oysters through here.
Yeah, we're losing. We're gonna drop down a little bit for the weather. Squawk to VFR, Legacy 16 Delta X-ray.
I'm getting the workout of my life right now, clenching so much.
Do what?
I'm getting the workout of my life, clenching so much.
wheel is set. The trim is good and the canopy's down. So we gotta get the gear, the prop and the prop and the mixture and the flaps. That's our landing chair.
Love it.
So I know Centralia is right by the airport. There's a big shopping center there. There's like Walmart. There's a Wendy's. Uh-oh, bumpy. Okay, so 16, we're gonna go all the way down there. Okay, he wants 1805. Chehalis traffic, Legacy 16 Delta X-ray is 10 miles to the north. We're gonna enter a right overhead for 16 Chehalis. So, I've never...
Skywagon 2879 kilo is 3 south of the airport, and we'll be turning left to the east at 1500 climbing.
You okay?
Yep. Totally fine.
Like, I don't understand, like, what's the difference between, like, four-wheeling and bouncing around, or...
It's on the ground.
But do you think it's dangerous? Is it scary, or is it, like, like, literally help me understand.
I feel like it's unusual. I'm not used to it.
Oh, for sure.
And also, I'm terrified of heights.
Oh.
Heights are not my thing. That's why in New Zealand I never did the bungee jumping thing.
Yeah, I didn't do that either.
Yeah.
That's a different reason for me for that, but I don't trust man-made shit.
Yeah. Don't blame me. That's my thing. Anything on the ground, I'm happy trying. Like, we could do 1,000 miles an hour on the ground through crazy terrain, and I'm fine. The minute I'm more than 2 feet up, I'm like...
Chehalis, Centralia Airport, automated weather observation 2.
Ooh, like that's so scary.
Zulu. Wind 130 at 14 knots. Peak gusts 20.
Oh, gusty.
Visibility.
So it could be bumpy.
10. Sky condition clear below 12,000.
Chehalis traffic, Legacy 16 Delta X-ray, 1,200 feet, 5 miles to the north for an overhead for 16.
9 inches of mercury.
Okay, I'm gonna put...
Chehalis, Centralia Airport, automated weather...
Zoom in around. I don't see anybody traffic-wise. Do you? I don't see anybody else around here.
Is that us?
That's us.
Okay, never mind.
I'm really curious if in this area, the Greater Puget Sound, if it's always bumpy. Because I haven't ever flown a light plane around here, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, true.
down low, unless you can just get up and get over all of it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Chehalis traffic, Legacy 16 Delta X-ray overhead for a right crosswind. 16 Chehalis. Alright, next year's the end. Here. No, I'll wait on the prop. It's bumpy here.
Don't say.
Huh?
I said you don't say.
Right? Legacy 16 Delta X-ray right crosswind for 16 Chehalis. Okay, gear speed is 140. Alright, the gear's down. Prop and mixture. Go forward. Hold on the flaps. Chehalis traffic, Legacy 16 Delta X-ray. Right downwind 16 Chehalis. Okay, holding on the flaps.
What?
I said I'm waiting on the flaps. That's the last thing on my checklist, and that light will go out. Come on, Nicole, keep up with me.
I thought you said hold on to them. I'm like, I didn't know it was supposed to do anything.
Chehalis traffic at Legacy 16 Delta X-ray right base 16 Chehalis. Alright, here comes one flaps. 20. 30. Alright, flaps are full. Landing check is complete. Chehalis traffic, Legacy 16 Delta X-ray, final 16 Chehalis. Yeah.
500. Angle, push. Angle, push.
That's a pretty good crosswind. You see that windsock right there?
Oh, it's it's fucking Roger.
Pinche.
It's hey. Oh my gosh, look at this.
Guess we're gonna put it right here. Now that wind is whipping.
Green White Cessna, about 5 to the north, 2,200 inbound across midfield to the west.
Okay, we survived. We survived the first leg. All right, set down, flaps, strobes, trim. I'll get that. Oh, nose off. Avionics master, full mixture.
When I shot that video, the intent of it was to be a $100 burger type of a story. The trek down to Chehalis and going out to lunch and flying back. But the more I kind of watched the footage, the more I realized that there was actually a message to be told, and that is what it's like to fly with a nervous flyer. How do you handle that? Things you can do to try to alleviate that. In the commercial side of the world, I get that quite often. About probably at least once a month, I have a flight attendant come up and say, hey, Susie in 7B is kind of nervous. Would be okay if they came up and talked to you for a minute. So of course, I always welcome them up into the flight deck, talk to them. And here's some lessons learned that I have used over the years. For one, I welcome them right in, and I honestly, probably my biggest technique to kind of calm them down is my first thing is to try to distract them. I get them talking about themselves. I ask them a million questions. Where are you going? What are you doing when you get there? Blah, blah, blah. I did that in this video with Nicole on the flight down the Hood Canal. I started saying, hey, what's that town right there? Don't they have really good food right there? And sure enough, she started talking about the oysters and the 101. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that place. I got her kind of thinking about not being scared, distracting them with something. So that's my first technique, is to distract them. And second thing, I guess, is to get them talking. You have to engage them so that they're not just sitting there thinking the whole time, oh my God, I'm gonna die, it's bumpy or whatever. So that'd be number two. The third thing that I kind of learned there with Nicole, just on the fly, is to pick their brain. Like, hey, why is this scary to you? Ask them what it is. Is it the heights? Is it the turbulence? What's any difference in that from bouncing around on a four-wheeler or in a truck on a bouncy road? Why is turbulence any different from that? And so I asked her those questions, and sure enough, it was very specific about heights. It was a fear of heights more than anything, and then kind of bouncing around and not being stable. The fourth thing, I'm kind of bummed that it didn't pick up in the audio, but on our flight back from Chehalis up to Arlington, I started to explain to her, you know, I was watching the winds and hey, there's a ridge line coming up. I could tell that it was probably going to get bumpy as we crossed that ridge, and I started explaining to her how turbulence in air is no different than water when it's flowing down a river. And I asked her, hey, Nicole, have you ever gone whitewater rafting or even inner tubing and looked at a rock and there's, you know, it will swirl, you get a little white water around it, you'll get big eddies and stuff like that. She goes, yeah, I've whitewater rafted and whatnot. And I just explained, like, trying to think of an airplane as a raft just kind of floating along in the river, and it totally made sense to her. And I kind of showed her the wind direction on the gauge there. Hey, the wind's coming from here, it's coming off of Mount Rainier in the Cascades. There was an east wind that day, so it was pretty turbulent. And I was just explaining, like, it's the same thing as a river coming over a rock, and then it's kind of turbulent and churned up downstream of that. And I said, we're essentially downstream of this giant rock in the river, and our plane is just kind of, it reacts, it's floating. You're not 100%, not that you're not in control of it, but you really are just floating along in this big air mass. And so those four things, and that kind of clicked with her, and she kind of understood a little bit more about what turbulence was when I painted that picture to comparing it to a river. So that was my tip. I would say too, don't push your passengers. If they don't want to go, don't go. If they want to get back on the ground, get back on the ground. Nicole is an adrenaline junkie. I've been racing with her for about 8 to 9 years now, I think. She is a hardcore motorhead, likes to push it, drives fast. Speed is not a concern there. It was the height with her. So I wasn't sure how she was going to react to flying. And now I know. So now I also know that I could see a big improvement just in that flight down to Chehalis and back on the way that she approaches it. So I think that the next flight will be much more fun, and I myself will probably not go if it was as bumpy and cloudy and overcast as it was on this particular flight down Chehalis. So I guess you got to be flexible when you're going to make a YouTube video. I had the intent of just doing the burger run, but it turned into a lesson learned. I want to share with that everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. The whole rest of the flight back, as you can see, I'm just speeding it along as we make our way back to Arlington. Stand by for more videos. I'll try to do them as much as I can, but thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what you do with a passenger that is nervous. What techniques do you do to kind of calm them down? I'd like to hear about them because, you know, I'd like to learn myself. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.